support must be tangible, not ceremonial. And I mean it. It must translate into improved working conditions, modern infrastructure, and well-equipped courtrooms where justice is dispensed promptly and transparently. Our court must no longer be places where cases languished for years. They must become beacons of efficiency, where disputes are resolved swiftly and where litigants depart with renewed confidence in the rule of law. The modernization of judicial infrastructure remains a central priority. Technology is no longer a luxury, it is a necessity. The digitization of our court process, the adoption of integrated cases management system, and the provision of secured and reliable judicial facilities will receive sustained attention from this administration. A digital, transparent judiciary will not only improve efficiency, but also deepen accountability and public trust. We should not leave any of our courts behind in this transformation. Yet, bricks and mortar, or even digital screens, do not make justice. The true strength of the judiciary lies in the men and women who interpret the law and give life to its spirit. Our judges are the living custodian of justice. The caliber of their work defines the moral strength of the Republic. This is why judicial welfare, training, and independence are not privileges, they are imperatives. We will continue to support the National Judicial Institute as the leading hub for judicial education, comparative study, and professional development. Continuous learning and intellectual renewal must remain the hallmark of the bench. The law evolves daily, and so too must those who interpret and apply it. We must ensure that our judges are not only equipped to interpret the law in contemporary times, but also empowered to shape it in accordance with constitutional values. However, let us be clear, no amount of reform can succeed if integrity is compromised.
Yes, sir. Viewers, if you are watching, click on the like button, drop your comment, and also share this program to others. 10 U.S. congressmen to visit Mazi Nnamdi Kanu in the DSS custody. What do you have to say about this?
Yes, the news filtered in a few days ago, and a lot of things has been coming up in that regard. Those U.S. delegates is coming directly from the office of the presidency of the United States of America after, acknowledging Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's letter to Trump, and acting on it. There has been series of meetings in that regard concerning the decision of the U.S. government over, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's ordeal. Not only Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's ordeal, a lot of things was factored into that letter, that was officially written by Nnamdi Kanu himself to the United States government. Serious activity is being taken in that direction, as in, the U.S. government themselves are beginning to because there's a louder outcry. There's an outcry. There's an outrage, over how Nnamdi Kanu case has been going in the Nigerian judicial system. A lot of manipulations and all that. People are saying there's a law that to try him, and the man is saying there's no law that can try him. But we are seeing more and more international interventions on that regard. I think what prompted this, the U.S. government, sending people privately to Nnamdi Kanu in DSS custody was as a result of the letter Nnamdi Kanu wrote to the Oval Office that got an instant acknowledgement and breakthrough by United States government. A wider jubilation for Nnamdi Kanu in that regard, because I do not know what is actually going to be the stand of Omotosho currently now, and of course the federal government currently now. There have been series of prophecies coming out from different men of God. All of them are just basically saying the same thing. That the time has come for total disintegration of Nigeria. The time has come for Nnamdi Kanu to be freed. The time has come, for Nigeria to become an ex-nation. And I think that's what they are trying to say. But so many things are being directed to, the office of the presidency, talking about Bola Ahmed Tinubu to do the needful now, because, a lot of people are saying they don't know what is going to come, in few days, months, from now. Definitely that it is going to come. For U.S. government to start sending delegates to Nnamdi Kanu for a private meeting, for a private talk, DSS are not going to, restrict them from accessing Nnamdi Kanu. The Asu Rock is not going to restrict them from accessing Nnamdi Kanu. But for the news we are hearing is that, the meeting is already being factored around, what is going to happen on 20th November, when there's going to be a sort of, a deep legal battle from what we normally, see in that regard. But you can see the gallant Nnamdi Kanu himself seems to have gathered enough momentum and properly fortified himself. Will also want to bring to their notice viewers all over the world that, he went to Supreme Court to file a motion. Apart from that, a lot of things he has written to some, of course, I wouldn't say they're unfortunate organizations, who cannot come out and defend the reality on ground. The NBA, the fake medical report and all that, all of them have gotten copies in preparation, that nobody's going to hold him accountable for what is going to besiege, in Nigeria if care is not actually taken. And they're trying to draw the attention of the presidency to that regard. But unfortunately, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, like Engineer Baribe will say definitely that they do not know why Bola Ahmed Tinubu has not deemed it fit to, release Nnamdi Kanu. It's not about Eastern politicians for that regard. The fear is that, Nnamdi Kanu has become a rallying point, for South and Southeast now to become one block, and that's the fear. And once these blocks, regions, unfortunately, was created politically, this, I would like disengagement, I would like to call it segregation, would I call it segregation, separation of the entire eastern region by creating South-South, that Nnamdi Kanu presence is going to bring formidability in that regard, and possibly unite the two regions. And once the two regions are able to unite, the North will no longer be comfortable with that. And of course, the presidency will not be comfortable with that. And secondly, the Asu Rock will not have anything to lay their hand on. Because Nnamdi Kanu currently now is you can see how the Nigerian Student Union gathered around and was able to present, an award to him. Somebody that's in DSS. That to tell you that Nnamdi Kanu has become a phenomenon in Nigeria generally. Currently now is the most popular person to talk about, when it comes to freedom fighting, in Nigeria. in Africa and around the world now. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is being celebrated even by his enemies and others, given the revelation coming from the NAS president himself, who came out publicly and shared an experience with him and Mazi Nnamdi Kanu right there in DSS custody. So see, it's going to be, like a spirit. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu has become a spirit. It has become an icon. You don't know where to hold. You don't know who is to hold. Because he has attracted so much attention in Nigeria. Just one man, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. So definitely, they are going to send a serious signal, and also there's pressure on Omotosho, definitely, to rescue himself from the matter, to resign, to not even to attend to Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's case, but the mission of those U.S. congressmen is going to be a secret one between them and Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Whatever that is going to be discussed there, it might not be made public to the press, but they are coming directly from the office of Mr. President, talking about United States government under Donald Trump, who acknowledged that letter and sent those powerful delegates. But I think one of the names actually factored in, if I can remember, is it Raymond or what? Raymond, I don't know. Yes, if I can correct. I think, I'm not Ted Cruz and so many of them. This thing has attracted a lot of congressmen. I can remember a few days ago that 7 lawmakers, stepped into the issue of what the NATO chief was trying to say, that there have been, solidarity to the office of the president to recognize that's Gutanjang, to recognize Biafra as a nation. It is nobody's business, of course. We cannot be. There's need for Biafra, and I can tell you that there's need for Biafra to go their separate ways. With all its territorial powers, restored, and not this issue of South and South. That is totally rubbish. The ancient Biafra will stand as an ancient kingdom. That's what we're talking about at this point in time. And that's what, the world has come to understand this time around. So, Omotosho might definitely be on the run or be in a state of, amankameme because of, you don't know how the whole thing is going to be like, because you don't know the result of what is going to transpire between the U.S. Congress and delegates to DSS office and Mazi Nnamdi Kanu at the end of the day. It's a sign of victory, in a sign of what is going to come in the nearest future. That Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, and of course, has been recognized all over the world as one of the freedom fighters, but not a terrorist.
Viewers, if you are still watching, click on the like button, drop your comment, and also share this program to others. In conclusion, what are you predicting or expecting from court on the 20th of this month?
Yes, either the presiding judge, Omotosho, rescue himself from the matter that he has no jurisdiction over, no matter how manipulative, whatever thing they are going to manipulate on it, so be it. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu has gone to a Supreme Court and to file a motion in that regard. Has written to so many organizations in that, including the United States government. There may be international intervention if Omotosho decide to, proclaim a jail term for Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. There will be national outcry, and of course, I'm trying to tell you, there's already a mass protest in that regard that is going to spring up all over Nigeria and all over Africa if Omotosho try anything funny that day. We are expecting that Omotosho should do the needful. We know he's under the influence of certain people. Not to release Mazi Nnamdi, not to pronounce Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's bail or freedom at the end of the day. We know those who are behind it, that are putting pressure. But unfortunately, the president doesn't want to do the needful. So, if he fails to do the needful, then people will do the needful for him, and that's what he stands. Omotosho should go ahead and do the needful by setting Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, proclaiming Mazi Nnamdi Kanu free on the 20th of November. If he fails to do that, then the consequences is what we are talking about now. How would Nigeria look like if Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is being sentenced to a life imprisonment?
Viewers, if you are still watching, make sure you click on the like button, drop your comment, and share this program to others. Subscribe if you have not done so. God bless you and have a nice day.